There are more than 7,000 community schools across the country that are operating with very low number of students due to managerial weaknesses and unqualified teachers. These schools have reached the stage of being shut down as the number of students has drastically decreased. Based on government statistics, the number of students has dropped by more than 400,000 this year alone. Good morning, I'm Abhyuday Shrestha and these are the headlines of the hour. More than 7,000 community schools across the country at the brink of shutting down, quality of education and number of students on declining trend. Government employees found neglecting important works, the trend of waiting for minister's directive even for regular works prevailing. China condemns violent clashes in the Hong Kong protest as behavior that is close to terrorism. And Liverpool lifts the Super Cup title, defeating Chelsea 5-4 in a penalty shootout after a 2-all draw in regulation play and added extra time. More than 7,000 community schools across the country are operating with students below their capacity due to managerial weaknesses and unqualified teachers. These schools have reached the stage of being shut down due to low standard of education and failure in competing with private schools that have led to declining number of students. There are less than 25 students that are regular at Sri Himalaya Adharbut School in Madhyapur Nikosira of Bhaktapur. This school, which was established more than 50 years ago, has a poor academic record due to weak management and substandard teachers. As a consequence, parents and guardians are transferring their students to private schools. Despite having very low number of students, the government has deployed 7 teachers and 1 official for the school, and more than 2.5 million rupees is spent for their remuneration. The situation of the primary school and Nilbarhai Primary School in Lokanthali of Madhyapur Bhaktapur also share the same plight.
अब जाने सबै छोराछोरी आफ्नै छोराछोरी बढीमा पढाए राम्रो हुन्छ भने जुन सरकार यो सरकारी स्कुल प्रति चाहिँ नि अभिभावकको चाहिँ सोच चाहिँ अलिकति फरक भएको कारणले पनि हुन सक्छ भन्ने हाम्रो बुझाइ छ के सर हामीले त राम्रै गरिरहेछौं टिचरहरु पनि राम्रो पढाइरहेछ र साथसाथै हामीले इंग्लिश मिडियममा पनि पढाइरहेछौं तर हाम्रो क्वालिटी दिँदाखेरि हामी बच्चाहरुलाई पनि हामीले चाहिँ अब बुझ्दाखेरि हामीले बच्चा यहाँ पढाइ राम्रो छ भन्ने एउटा चाहिँ सोच उनीहरुको विचार त्यो भएको कारणले पनि हैन उनीहरुले हामीले टिचरहरुको चाहिँ राम्रो हो.
There are more than 7,000 such community schools across the country where the number of students has drastically decreased. Based on the education regulation, the proportion of teacher to students in the Kathmandu Valley should be 1:50, with the figure standing at 1:40 in the mountains, 1:45 in the hills, and 1:50 in the Tarai. Based on the task force formed by the government, more than 7,000 such primary schools are in the stage of being shut down due to very low number of students.
विद्यार्थी 20 भन्दा कम भएका विद्यालयहरू निकै धेरै छन्. त्यसैले यो शिक्षक विद्यार्थी अनुपात कम्तिमा चाहिँ 20 इक्वल्स टु 1 हैन. एक शिक्षक बराबर 20 जना मात्रै विद्यार्थी हुने स्कुलहरु त करिब 7,000 जति होलान् हैन. र अहिले चाहिँ त्यो फरक चाहिँ होला. यसको अर्थ के हो त भन्दाखेरि विद्यार्थी संख्या शिक्षक विद्यार्थी अनुपात मिलेन भन्ने नै हो. विशेष गरी अहिले चाहिँ पहाडमा खास गरी 45 विद्यार्थी बराबर एक शिक्षक.
Based on government statistics, the number of students has dropped by more than 400,000 this year alone due to substandard teachers. It is imperative for the government and the local levels to take effective steps so as to generate appropriate return on government investments made in the education sector and to uplift the standard of community schools while increasing attraction towards them. Public officials in general do not need to wait for any directives to perform daily administrative tasks at government offices, as it is their responsibility to carry out regular tasks defined by their job description. However, the trend of remaining indifferent to regular tasks has been increasing in the government mechanism. The scenario of employees waiting for a minister's directive to perform even the most basic of their tasks has been prevailing in the government system, raising serious questions on the rising bureaucracy in the country. The meeting of the Provincial Assembly in Province 1 does not take place during rainfall. Leakage of water in the meeting hall has led to the postponement of meetings, citing adverse weather conditions. Just this week, the air conditioners did not function for 3 days at the hall of the House of Representatives. After struggling with the temperature inside the meeting hall, Nepali Congress lawmaker Sujata Pariyar even went on to raise the issue at the meeting held on 8th of August. Nepal Communist Party lawmaker Khagaraj Adhikari had raised questions on the irresponsibility of the Parliament Secretariat on 2nd of June as the broken chairs in the meeting hall of the House of Representatives were not repaired. These incidents have been occurring when there is a dedicated repair and maintenance department to address such issues at the Federal Parliament Secretariat. These basic functions fall under the regular tasks of the Secretariat. However, these cases are mere examples of irresponsibility on the part of officials. In recent times, our mechanism of bureaucrats has been waiting for directives from higher authorities even to carry out their basic responsibilities. The officials just operating for the sake of it instead of becoming committed towards their responsibilities was yet again evident at the Tribhuvan International Airport yesterday. When our team from Kantipur News reached the Tribhuvan International Airport yesterday afternoon, works were underway for sanitation and the installation of an escalator to do away with the need to use luggage trolleys. These works should have already been completed at the Tribhuvan International Airport. The sanitation works that should have been performed daily by the Tribhuvan International Airport Administration were mere exhibition to the newly appointed tourism minister. The government itself has been failing in ensuring efficient and committed performance of the officials.
संघीय प्रणालीमा गएको अवस्थामा संघीय संरचना अनुसारको राज्यका संयन्त्रहरू निर्माण गर्नुपर्ने, त्यसको क्षेत्राधिकारहरू निर्माण गर्नुपर्ने, त्यसका कार्यविधिहरू निर्माण गर्नुपर्ने, त्यही अनुसारका स्रोत साधनहरूको व्यवस्थापन गर्नुपर्ने, यी सबै प्रक्रियाहरू पनि एउटा संकलन कालकै जस्तो प्रक्रिया भएको हुनाले चाहिँ सायद केही समय चाहिँ कर्मचारीहरूमा समायोजनको बहसले पनि थोरै काम कारबाहीहरूमा ढिलासुस्ती हुन सक्छ.
These series of incidents compel us to question whether the goals and aspirations of attaining economic pros would materialize when our bureaucracy is plagued by lack of seriousness. We'll take a short break here. We have more news coming up. In our public voice segment, we had asked the locals at West Rukum's Musikot Rural Municipality how have they found the works of the Judicial Committee. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public voice.
उहाँहरूले सैद्धान्तिक रूपमा ऐन कानुनको विषयमा चाहिँ जानकारी पाउनुपर्ने, क्षमता अभिवृद्धि हुनुपर्ने देखिन्छ.
शान्ति न झगडाको लागि पनि अदालत धाउनु पर्ने अब धेरै गाह्रो हुन्थ्यो. अहिले चाहिँ अब त्यही शान्ति न कुराहरुको लागि उहाँहरूले बाधा अब छिटो सजिलो भइराछ हामीलाई.
पारिवारिक बेमेलहरुलाई पनि न्यूनीकरण गरिरहेको छ. ग्रामीण बस्तीमा बसेका टाढाका मान्छेहरुलाई जिल्लामा आएर दुःख पाउने अवस्था छैन.
स्थानीय तहमा न्यायिक समिति छ, उहाँहरूले गरिरहेको जुन काम छ त्यो एकदम ठीक छ. अहिले अलि गम्भीर प्रकृतिका मुद्दाहरू आए पनि उहाँहरूले अलिकति ध्यान दिनुपर्छ.
न्याय समितिले निष्पक्ष निर्णय दिई कुराकानी मिलाइदिनु भएको हुँदा यहीँबाट झगडा सुल्झिने भएकोले अहिले पहिलेको भन्दा धेरै सहजता भएको छ.
श्रीमान श्रीमतीको झगडा पनि न्यायिक समितिले मिलाउने गरेको छ र अन्य पारिवारिक समस्याहरू पनि न्यायिक समितिमा आएर नै मिल्ने भएको छ. यसले गर्दा हामीलाई राम्रो भएको छ.
कानुनी अवधारणाहरू अस्पष्ट भएको हुनाले मुद्दा मामिलाका विषयहरूमा अलि टुङ्ग्याउने कुरामा चाहिँ स्थानीय तहको अलिकति समस्या देखा परेको छ.
We have more news coming up, but right now it's time for another short break. Welcome back, and it's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
Here's the question. What do you term the Ministry of Agriculture making mandatory its recommendation while providing agro loans? Your options are A, encroaching the rights of banks, and B, ploy to facilitate cadres, and C, policy to benefit actual farmers. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B, or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. And it's time now for the sports news.
Sports News.
Six-time European champions Liverpool have won the UEFA Super Cup title, defeating 2018-19 Europa League winners Chelsea 5-4 in a penalty shootout in the title decider. In the final played in Istanbul, Turkey this morning, the match had to be decided through a penalty shootout as the match ended in a 2-2 draw after regulation play and added extra time. In the first half, Olivier Giroud scored in the 36th minute to give Chelsea a 1-0 lead. However, in the second half, Liverpool came up with an equalizer as Sadio Mane scored in the 48th minute. The final went into extra time after 90 minutes of regulation play ended in a 1-1 draw. Sadio Mane scored his personal second goal of the match 5 minutes into extra time, making good use of the pass by Roberto Firmino to give Liverpool a 2-1 advantage. But Chelsea leveled the match at 2-2 after Jorginho converted a penalty kick 11 minutes into extra time. Chelsea were awarded the spot kick after Tammy Abraham was fouled by Liverpool goalkeeper Adrian inside the D-box. The title decider had to be decided through a penalty shootout after the match ended in a 2-2 draw after added extra time. Adrian became the hero of the match after stopping Tammy Abraham's spot kick with his foot to help Liverpool win the title. Liverpool had to play with their second-choice goalkeeper Adrian in the final after their first-choice keeper Alisson Becker was sidelined due to calf injury sustained in the match against Norwich. It was Liverpool's fourth Super Cup title. Nepal's national volleyball team defeated the Afghanistan volleyball team in an exciting 5-setter in the first friendly match played in Kathmandu yesterday. Nepal defeated Afghanistan 22-25, 25-17, 25-21, 23-25, 15-13 in the match played yesterday. The second and final friendly match between the two teams will be played at the covered hall at the Nepal Army premises in Lagunkhel at 3 this afternoon. And it's time now for the special segment, Glorious History.
On 14th of August 1947, an official division of British India occurred known as Partition of India, which accompanied the creation of two independent territories, India and Pakistan. The partition involved the division of two provinces, Bengal and the Punjab, based on district-wise Hindu or Muslim majorities. It also involved the division of the British Indian Army, the Royal Indian Navy, the Indian Civil Service, the railways and the Central Treasury between the two new territories. The territory of India is today the Republic of India and Dominion of Pakistan, the Islamic Republic of Pakistan and the People's Republic of Bangladesh. The partition was set forth in the Indian Independence Act 1947 and resulted in the dissolution of the British Raj or Crown rule in India. The two self-governing countries of India and Pakistan legally came into existence at midnight on 14th of August 1947. The partition displaced between 10 and 12 million people along religious lines, creating overwhelming refugee crises in the newly constituted dominions. There was large-scale violence, with estimates of loss of life accompanying or preceding the partition disputed and varying between several 100,000 and 2 million. The violent nature of the partition created an atmosphere of hostility and suspicion between India and Pakistan that plagues their relationship to the present. This is Bipashna Tamang for Kantipur News Desk.
And now, before wrapping up, here's a look at the top stories once again. More than 7,000 community schools across the country at the brink of shutting down. Quality of education and number of students on declining trend. Government employees found neglecting important works. The trend of waiting for ministers' directive even for regular works prevailing. China condemns violent clashes in the Hong Kong protest as behavior that is close to terrorism. And Liverpool lifts the Super Cup title, defeating Chelsea 5-4 in a penalty shootout after a 2-2 draw in regulation play and extra time. And And that's all for the moment. Keep watching Kantipur Television HD for more news and entertainment. Thank you for watching. Have a good morning.